old business. We're going to discuss discussion of ordinance 2024-1186, an ordinance amending number 2021-1168 of the City of Mabton, amendment as setting general city fees. So these were the fees for police department, correct?
Correct. And that would be the police chief would like to address that?
I don't have that piece of paper. I have
It is in the packet. Should be.
I don't have the whole.
It is right.
Way at the
Yes.
back, right here.
See, okay. Sylvia, what?
It's at that way at the back.
Way at the
It's,
back?
yes, with the resolution or the ordinance.
Okay, so, this is what you had asked for, and, it was brought to the last meeting, and you all wanted a little bit more, information, so here it is, it's printed out, and it's giving you the fees of everything, from fencing to underground, sprinklers, sign permit building, mechanical, plumbing, land use, rezoning, certificate of, whatever certificates we need in the city, annexation, and so forth. And I believe, the one that the chief had wanted was,
Public Safety Director.
no, the public,
But his title.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
public.
Public
But
safety.
yeah, these are the things we had discussed previously, and I know, council asked to have it in writing because at the time it wasn't printed. It was just verbal that we're talking about. But if you look at there's a red, that's the price it was. And the green is what the PD would like it to go to because of all the work that is involved in getting these reports out. And does anybody have any questions on those prices that we already talked about?
You guys just wanted them in a format, and so we went ahead and added them. I still just don't agree with the policy one. Policy, police policies, charging $25 for us to get a copy of policies. Everything else is fine to me.
How much do you want it to be?
I don't think we charged before. I don't know. We didn't charge before the policies, except for,
Yeah, we've never had anybody ask us for a policy. This is the first time that in the 2.5 years, nobody has ever asked for a copy of the policy until recently, like they want. And we've never really addressed a policy, but I think it'd be important to address it now because it does take time to do that. And each policy, one may be bigger than the other or lengthier, but I think if we set, each one, I have to sit down and research each one and find it. We have an online system that we use, Lexipol, and then we'd have to go through each one and figure out where it's at. So.
what do you think?
Well, we need to charge, we can't do it for free.
Mary?
Well, we need to charge, but I don't know, $25 is kind of high. I know when, at my previous job in different towns, it was $10 a page.
Per page?
Per page, every report I wanted.
Oh, I thought, yeah, because each policy, some are lengthier than others, but like I said, I don't just press a button and there it is. I have to go in and find each one. So if you think about it, $25
For the whole copy. no matter
for
what.
that policy, there's like several policies, policy on use of force, policy on handcuffing, policy, there's a lot of policies. So for us, if we started getting, okay, I want every policy you have, it would get very time consuming. So like I said, that was a proposal of 25 just because of the time that we would probably be spending doing this. And it doesn't happen very often. We've only had one one request in the last 2.5 years. So it's not like every person's coming in every day. But if we do it, it does take time. But I'll let you folks figure the price out.
$25, I'm sorry, but I do, because it is work for you guys anyway. No, we can't do it for free. We need to get paid for your time.
If they are getting paid,
Shh, okay, council's having a discussion right now.
What do you think?
I'd like to see if we could do it for the amount of time, like say, okay, it's gonna take you, I don't know, so much per hour. And then just, actually, that way you get more probably, but then the ones that don't have to do so many, but you get charged so much. That's kind, I only say no way to done it, so.
So what about like a happy medium, like a $15? I think that's super reasonable.
I think
It's so,
15, 20
would that be like a full report or would that be like a $10 per page?
per policy. So a policy can have several pages depending on the amount of language in that policy.
So I think, and I don't know, maybe Councilwoman Mary, if she wants to say something, but I think the $10 per page for the policy would be good. Instead of getting the one lump, 25 for like 5 pages. You're more to get more out of 5 pages.
for 10
Yeah.
per page.
That would
Okay,
be
yeah, that sounds fair to me. Like I said, it does take time and that's the bottom line.
And then that way, if somebody, just a citizen, another citizen wants one, maybe it only costs you 10.
So,
Instead of more.
I'm sorry, your new title? Your new title?
Public safety
Public
director.
safety, I'm sorry. So each policy, about how many pages are the policies?
We haven't completed one yet, so I can't say. I do know that some are lengthier than others. There's a lot more verbiage depending on what the subject is. If it's use of force, when does it apply? There's a lot of, it can get,
Different sections of the policy?
yeah, different sections. There you go, different sections. So, even if we did like $10 per section, okay, some are gonna be lengthier than others. This particular policy that they may ask for may be less, but I think on average, a $10 per policy, $10 to $15, I think is gonna be fairly
I
reasonable.
think per policy would be better than per page.
Be cheap.
$25
Because if we
per
have-
policy?
No. 10,
Yeah, and if we did, yeah, and I just think that there's gotta be something, because we've never provided policy before, and it's never been addressed. Police report's one thing, but, so this is our, everybody's time to,
We've never had any, starting with 10 or 15 per policy, and then if it gets to be way too much more, then we can look at it and raise it more. We never had it before, we waited at 25.
there you go, and kind of start out, and then if we have to adjust from there, and it may be, yeah, I think that's very reasonable. I'm glad, that's good.
So
$15?
for the whole
Policy.
Per policy section, like policy for handcuffing, policy for whatever.
Correct.
Yeah, that sounds very reasonable. And then, like I said, if I can come back and report and say, okay, this is what it's looking like, once we get to that point, I can come back and report what we're up against, and then we can readjust there if it's too much or less. I think adjustments can be made later, but I think it's a good starting point because we've never had it.
Okay, so any more discussion on that?
Leave the flat drive at 25, or it's all gonna be,
I think they said 15 for just the policy.
and then the flat.
The flash drive, and then, yeah, so the only thing would be the policy, per policy would be 15 instead of the 25. And then that'll give us a starting point to see, kind of gauge from there as we go.
So now we're gonna go ahead and go on to B, discussion of public safety director contract. So you all approved the contract at the last meeting, except we were not able to, we didn't get the contract, signed.
Or complete it with, the training's gonna be available, right? Or are you gonna explain?
Yeah, we can let the attorney kind of explain what happened the last time and what the figures were that we didn't have at the time.
And Mary, you have that file in front of you?
Yes,
Are you ready for me, or?
yes, Bill, go ahead.
Well, I submitted this proposed agreement, I believe it was the morning of June 21st, the Thursday before the meeting, and I don't know what you got on the 25th, but in any event, the question has arisen. The council approved the public safety director's salary at the same salary that the police chief had, but however, I believe it was probably the administration was unclear of whether you understood that the chief of police also got a 2% COLA for 2023 and 8% for 2024. So it wasn't just the original $63,521 that he got as a salary under his 2022 contract. He got as chief, he got a 2% COLA for 2023 and 8% for 2024, which was in accordance with what the officers and other employees under a CBA were receiving. So all those add up to actually $69,974.84. So when the council said, yes, we'd approve this 63, the administration wanted to make sure if you understood that included the COLAs. The total now $69,974.84. I also sent an email to Larry Briones, not realizing he was no longer with the city at that time, asking him what the annual amount was, so that could be discussed. And I didn't have that figure, so I just did my own math, and the chief had not been getting his COLAs as required by the contract, and they were paid out separately at some point. So in any event, we wanted to make sure you had the actual current figure as far as what the chief had been making, to make sure you understood that's what he asked you to approve.
Okay, so we did talk about this at the last meeting. You said it was gonna be the same amount, and you haven't asked for any extra or gotten any extra, so I had the, I thought it was gonna be 63. If you're not gonna be, if it's gonna be a separate position, not chief anymore, I don't think it should be making as much as a chief would be making. Since your duties have changed, you don't have certain authorizations to do things, you're just gonna be sitting in the office mostly doing paperwork and reports and stuff. 69 is a lot for the public safety director versus a chief of police.
So just for clarification, just so you know, and I know how you feel, but he's not just sitting at the desk. He's actually doing stuff throughout the city, and he's doing additional duties in the city hall for us right now. So,
So is he here Monday through Friday, or
yes, he is.
he's not here on the weekends?
But we're gonna talk about that this evening. We were supposed to have a meeting earlier today, but I was busy trying to finish up some stuff. So, he will be coming in on weekends.
What?
He's a salary employee, so whatever he's behind on, he can get caught up on it. So there's still some, open investigations. There's still stuff that needs to be caught up on, so. Yeah, so it's not just a Monday through Friday job. He is, gonna start doing it on the weekends, so.
And have you started looking for a new chief?
We were gonna have him do that for us, because he knows all, police departments, he knows what's out there, what's available, if there's anybody available. So, I haven't even had a chance to talk to him about that, being that he just started on the 1st. I know that we've just been talking about just other things about the city. So that would probably be something we could answer for you.
Yeah, and I know one of the things that we're gonna need is we're gonna have to figure out what the budget is to be able to figure out, how much can the city afford for a chief here, because that's gonna be important. And so I'm hoping that, that figure gets done sooner than later, because how are you gonna be able to offer somebody, hey, come in and, well, how much? I don't know how much the city's making, So that's gonna be super important to hopefully get that part done. And then advertise. Like I said, my intention isn't to be here. I was expecting 1 to 2 months, probably. So this isn't, I don't plan to be here permanent, and I know the city has to do something different, and figure this out. But yeah, one of the things we're gonna need to know is what's available for the city budget-wise, because it's kind of hard to just start spending money without knowing how much money's coming in.
And we don't have a budget.
And so that's gonna be a key to figuring out what,
But we are spending the money right now in your position. So once we hire somebody, we can offer them that salary, if we can do that salary. So we can advertise it
right,
and advertise a certain range to what you're making right now. So we do have an amount, we just need to start advertising it so we can hire somebody. And do the range like what you're making, 60 to 70,000, depending on the experience, something, I don't know what they make, but something like that.
And even then, it's still, nobody wants to come be a chief for that. So,
It's a
but he's
small
looking,
town, less responsibilities kind of, but overseeing 2 officers versus a whole group of officers. And,
for the small town,
depending on experience though, yeah.
in the small town, there is a lot of work. I mean, they're called out all the time. It's not just here. They go home and they get called back an hour later, 30 minutes later, and they have to rush back, you know, so, yeah.
yeah, and I get phone calls all the time, and I'm not complaining, I'm just saying, a lot of folks probably don't know what I do, or how, if I'm even doing it. I do stuff every day. I'm the type that I can't sit still, I gotta be doing something. And it could be, checking the vehicles, hey, is the maintenance up to speed on those? Have we done the oil change? I mean, there's a lot of things that I've been doing day to day that you probably wouldn't think a chief does, but I do a lot of that stuff all the time. I get calls at home all the time. I never use that towards the time. I just talk to people all the time. I get calls on Saturday, Sunday, I mean, different hours of the day. So I do a lot of stuff that I never say, oh yeah, I was working or I got a call. I don't even, it's just part of the job is the way I see it. And there are a lot of responsibilities to run a police department. There's contracts, there's, staying up with the prosecutor's office on cases, making sure that the officers are putting the correct content in the reports. If not, nope, we gotta send that back, gotta go do follow-up. There's a lot of things that I'm doing that the average person doesn't think I do anything, but no, I do something all the time and I never sit still. I've been doing the money run lately for the city and making sure that the money's gonna make it to the bank, things like that. And that's a responsibility I'm willing to take on. Doesn't bother me, but am I doing things? I'm still doing a lot of the same stuff that I was doing before. And the officers are doing most of the rest, just like before, so.
I think any more questions? Here? Okay. We're gonna go ahead and go on to, there is no new business, we're free. So we're gonna go ahead and end this meeting at 6:19.
Recording stopped.